So last week I ordered water pump and fuel injectors for this forklift. They're supposed to be in today. Nothing shows up on time. I thought I'd pull it inside. Because we also had that wheel come off, or half come off a while ago, so maybe I'll order some studs. I found out what model Ford it is. It's a 4500. And get my hand in here. I think we've pushed our luck far long enough with that one. Also, I despise everything about this fuel filter setup. Always trying to leak, so we're gonna rig something or rather up and just put it to a spin on, which would be so much nicer. This is gonna be a good little tune-up for it. The water pump, 3 new injectors, the seals for it. I'm curious how nice these injectors are gonna come out, or not nice. Hopefully we don't have to get too mean with them. So I'm probably going overboard by pulling all the weights off to do this. But again, sight unseen, Richie bought a couple years ago. I've been using it for 2 years or so without doing any maintenance. I'd like to get in there and check out that drive shaft going to the pump so that doesn't come apart and take the rad out. And I can't even get to my air filter to blow it out or anything, so I can put a new one in it. We'll just take them off. Explore a little. See, a good cleaning. So I had to take those weights off to be able to take the grill out to get at those bolts. Well designed. Yep. This is turning out to be a good move. Yuck. Oh yeah, it'll be easy. Like, what's the chances they run these bolts right through those side ones? So you have to take this bottom one off. You know, for years of backing into things, they're all bent. Yeah, no issue. Don't worry, we're just almost at the really scary part. Don't know if this is gonna balance at all. Again, as much as that sucked, it seems to keep paying off doing it the right way. So it got out of hand. It was a little more than I thought. Just a water pump. We'll do injectors. Why? They're easy. But I think we risked that long enough. I think we can do something about that. I should probably just change both those U-joints because they are impossible to grease. But yeah, not the best engineered thing out there, I can say that. Well, what's back to what's left of the forklift? We got her pretty close on that one. Risked it long enough. I'm just really impressed by this. That looks much better. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but I might as well order a thermostat tomorrow and wait for it. I can play with the injectors and maybe I'll do a valve set. Who knows? I want to have that filter to try and rig up. I got time to wait for the thermostat. So we're running into issues. Pulled this little drive shaft off and thought, well, hopefully the splines are just really loose in it. Oh yeah, in case you missed. That's a little wobbly. So I was hoping that these splines are really just messed up in there. They're hurting. So I thought, well, that part won't be too expensive. But unfortunately, we don't got a lot holding on here anymore. You can see that's new. And we're down to we go from razor to starting to disappear. So I just priced out that pump at $1,200, quarter of the whole forklift. But they do list a drive shaft, or like the main shaft in it, but the picture's terrible. So I'm waiting to hear back if I can just change that shaft out in that pump and put a new end on this. We'll put new U-joints on it, and that'll be all good. We'll do the belt, since you have to take this off to get the belt changed. We just need a little luck on our side for this one. A little worn. I bet we can make it stop. I'd test fit it just in case we can't get that shaft, because I'm not putting $1,200 pump on this. It's better, and in worst case, if I hammer a set screw into there, it's gonna be good for a few years for sure. Not ideal. Hopefully they can get me that shaft though for that pump. Would be best case. Okay, another idea, if we can't get that shaft, the tip still has pretty good splines. So if we were to push it all the way on, and it's not bad. So if I put a washer on the backside, not so there's force, but just a washer or two on the backside so that this is much closer using some of those better threads, that would definitely get us by too. Another day tinkering with the forklift. Gonna try and deal with the wheel hub and the studs that kind of wrecked. So put one of the new studs in, but that's a crack. Where are we? That's a big crack. So we're gonna notch in and weld that up. I don't know if this is cast or what it is, but we're gonna give it a try, because what do we got to lose? So it'll be interesting how this goes. Well, with how porous it looks on the outside of those, I'm guessing that is cast, so. Oh well, everyone's gonna say preheat, but I don't know. I did a bunch of reading on it once before, and you can either preheat the shit out of it and do super cold, or warm, slow cool downs, or you just weld quick and try not to get the area too hot to start with, so. And they were little welds, so we'll hope for the best. When I go into town for that last stud, I will get some fittings so we can do this spin-on filter adapter instead. Always had trouble with this leaking, and someone in the past had double O-ringed it. Oh, I guess you guys might want to see that. But no wonder it was such an issue to seal all the time. But that bugger's been in there a while, so I should have caught it, but oh well. Spin-on's still nicer. And another one, this return line, I don't know what they call those fittings, but in where it goes is this brass piece, and where are you? I'll find you. There we go. It is cracked. So it'll be interesting with the name. But that was our air leak losing prime. Okay, last problem. This shaft, we can't get it. So I thought about I could weld on the end and file the ever-living shit out of it, but I think I might JB weld into those, make the filing a little easier, and then space the shaft with washers back there so she sits on a little bit farther to get some of those good splines. You know, this pump's, from 1970 or so, so that should buy us quite a bit of time for how much use it gets. So with all the little problems, slots a little cleaning up, the big one's that pump shaft. And we can't get our hands on one. Well, if I wanted to wait 6 to 8 weeks, maybe I could, but yeah. If you can see, we have normal splines back here, and we're running out of anything up here, so the only solution to get by right now is some JB weld in the file. I know people don't like to see that, but not having a machine over thinking JB weld scabby, no thank you. I want my forklift back. So I think the general plan is I'm just gonna kind of half gob it on, and we're gonna sit around, work on our things, and when it's kind of set up, I'm gonna try and form it so I have the least amount of filing to do. All right, it's just getting to the right consistency. I went and found a screwdriver that fit perfect into the splines of the new coupler. And we're just going to scrape out the low spots. So we have less sanding down on the bottom. Because we can sand the OD really easy. It's getting those splines right that are a little more tricky. Okay, that kind of sets us up. We got our bottom ends. We'll let it harden, then we'll take off the OD, and then we get to play and get those grooves right. And there's gonna be spots where there's gonna be less spline and more spline. It's gonna be better than it was because there was next to nothing there. Hey, it's the next day. It's finally hardened up. Let's see, we have a good start with the splines. Let's try and take that OD down to get the right size. Okay, I got it where this old one would go on, but it's still not fully set up. So you can see, like right there, a little bit chipped out, which isn't the end of the world. We're just trying to add some meat to it. So yeah, that one, a big chunk came out, but it's not fully set up. But we are getting splines out here. And even if they're not like 100% strong, it's gonna stop that wobbling. The way I look at it, that much wear is from this being like a 1970. And when it was new, it probably had a real job every day, like a lumber yard or something, working all day, every day. So if that lasts 10 years with us, fine, perfect. Hey, I went down, got some new bolts. I put 2 washers in to back the shaft up onto the good splines as much as I can. And it looks super close, but I got 30 thou all the way around, and clearance is clearance. So we're gonna roll with it. What else? The JB Weld splines look surprisingly good. I think, might be biased. But we can start assembling stuff now. Oh yeah, let's give it the wiggle test. She is solid. We're getting close. It's starting to be a forklift again. Gotta throw this on for that hydraulic tank. It's more of just a ginormous filter housing, but did some wheel bearings quick. Did all the fuel lines. I had to build this housing, well, the mount for the housing. That worked out okay. Got that shaft fixed up, the water pump, new belt, the rad washed right out. Things are coming along on her. Oh, another little one. They had the oil sender moved from where it's supposed to be, because it looks like a terrible spot. But they just had little clamps on fuel line, and it always dripped. No wonder. It has like 80 psi oil. So I made a little hydraulic hose, but it's tight in there, so it's messy, but won't be leaking at least. Oh, we got all the new studs in there. New battery clamps. I'm hoping she gets pretty good where you can walk up fired up at any time, because that's always been the fight with her, just getting her to start, mainly because of fuel leaks. You always spill coolant putting it in, and it drips forever. And then you're paranoid if something's actually leaking, or if it's just what you spilled. Just pressure test it and be done with it. I was gonna wait to change that filter. It was supposed to be in today, but it never made it. So that means it's gonna be in after the weekend, so the hell with it. We're going to try and start it. See if she's grumpy. Oh, there we go. So before, it always sounded like it had a miss when you were revving up and sometimes high RPM. But and even when it did, it had that one puff of smoke when the one fired, so I think the injectors were worth it. Sounds smoother. Hey, we had no water leaks or nothing, coolant leaks, so guess we'll get the weights back on. It's so fun to deal with them. I gotta shim this top one out so that flap to get to the air filter will actually open so we can service it this time. Gotta leave all these side ones loose to get this one on, so I don't have to fight with the lining. This guy's heavy. This is taking forever. I've been running the threads on everyone because they all look like that. Ugh. Eats up a bit of time, but we're almost there. Well, got my utility forklift back now. Now I can sit here. I won't need it now that it's fixed. Pickles till they're in one. My main concern here is not wrecking this tire. Well, it cost me a light, but I think it might save me a tire. At least I'm not bottomed out. Stay on. Okay. That could have been worse. There. This little knoll will make it a little easier. Feel more confident now. There we go.